Hello, it's that time. Hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's time for another episode of Between the Covers. But first of all, if you're watching me live, please do say hello, tap the screen, show us some love. If you're watching us on the replay, put in hashtag replay. So, my name is Daniela Blecknell, author, book journey mentor, founder of a company called Conscious Dreams Publishing, and we publish books. Yes, we do. We transform diverse writers into successful published authors. On the bookshelf behind me here are just some of the 200 plus books that we have published over the last 6-7 years. I'm absolutely passionate about what I do. I don't do it alone. I have a whole team of editors, typesetters, designers, illustrators, and we have a brand new website. Check it out, www.consciousdreamspublishing.com. So if you don't know anything about the show, how come, why not, what's going on? This show is called Between the Covers, and the purpose of the show is to really get down and in between the covers of what it takes to write and publish a book. Quite often, I'm going to turn this music off. Here we go. My DJing skills. Fade. You can't just turn it off. So it's about getting really, really deep into understanding what it takes to write and publish a book. So it's a platform where I interview my authors. Sometimes they're not my authors. Sometimes they're people who work within the writing and publishing industry to really get you a sense of the journey. So I call myself a book journey mentor. Why? Because having published 8 books myself, I know that publishing a book is very much a journey. And on this journey, I'm going to introduce you to some of my authors. Before I do that, I just want to give a big shout out to one of our very early authors, Ola Awanubi, her name is. She published a book, Niger Love Stories, delve into 12 tales of Niger style love. Brilliant book. In 2017. So she's been published traditionally. She came to us to self-publish this book, very witty, very funny, 12 love stories based in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. She has recently got a 2-book, I think it's a 2-book, I'm pretty sure it is, a good traditional publishing deal with HarperCollins. Her book, A Nurse's Tale, is coming out on the 20th of July. So I want to give her a big shout out. Check that out. It's a fantastic book. Before I introduce my awesome and amazing guests, I'd like you to just send us some love. If you find this of value and worth, and if you're enjoying it already, then please do share this out. Today I have an extra special guest. She is only 9 years old. Her name is Isis Damli. She's written a beautiful book called Isis Meets Isis. Look how beautiful this is illustrated. A book all about discovering Egypt, the magic of ancient Egypt, and also really finding out the true origins of her beautiful name. Now let's introduce this amazing young author who was recently on BBC World Service a few weeks ago. So here she is. She says, my name is Isis. I am 8 years old. She's actually 9 years old now. I am a young Black author. I like drawing, dancing, acting, and singing, and I love sharing my creativity with others. I wrote this book to educate people about the Egyptian times and what it means to live in the power of your name. Please give her a huge round of applause, although we can't hear the round of applause, but throw up your love and support for Isis. Hello, Isis. How are you doing?
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm good.
Excellent. You are with your Tantan today in Nonway Damali. Say hello.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Danny.
Hello. So obviously, I know what Tantan means because I learned that from you, Isis. Can you explain to your awesome and amazing audience what Tantan means?
Well, Tantan basically means grandmother, but in Trinidad, because we're from Trinidad, we would say Tantan.
Ah, Tantan. There you go. Tantan in Nonway. Nice to see you. Also one of our authors as well. So Isis, I've introduced you to our audience. Introduce us to your lovely book, Isis Meets Isis. What's it about and what inspired you to write it? Do you have a copy on you?
Oh, no.
That's fine. Tell us a bit about Isis Meets Isis.
Well, Isis Meets Isis is all about me and my mum going to Egypt and finding a beautiful goddess and what it means to live in the power of your name.
Brilliant. And I'm going to show a picture here of your mum and Isis. Look at these fabulous illustrations. Tell us, who's this character based on?
That's based on me.
Okay, brilliant. We're going to talk a little bit about the process of writing and then obviously working with our illustrator. But tell us, what drew you to Egypt? Why is that really important to you?
Well, I really, really do love the Egyptians, and I already knew that my name came from an Egyptian goddess who shares the same name as me. So I thought, why don't I just put the two together and see what it turns out with?
And look what it turned out as. Absolutely fantastic. A brilliant book that's been around the world. Lots of people have bought it and enjoyed it and loved it. Egypt's somewhere I've always wanted to go. What do you love about Egypt the most? Is it the history, the culture, the pyramids? What is it?
Well, I do love the pyramids, but what I feel like is something that I wrote in my book is that I think it was magic that made the pyramids. And I also like the history about the Egyptians. It's really interesting learning about them.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of mystery. No one actually might say they might know, but no one actually really knows how the pyramids were built, and that's something that fascinates me as well. Did you have to research a lot about Egypt beforehand, or did you know a lot already?
Well, I did know quite a lot already, but just to make sure, we searched it up.
Amazing. And what is, without sort of telling us anything from the book, what is one of the most interesting facts that you've learned about Egypt?
Well, the most interesting fact about Egypt that I learned is that it's not in the book, but when someone dies, their heart would be measured on a weight from a feather and their heart, and if it's the same weight, they get to go to heaven or whatever spiritual place they called it. And if it was heavier, they would be eaten by a god.
I think I would like the first option. That sounds and I'm actually wearing a feather right now.
Oh.
So yeah, that's a coincidence, isn't it? So tell us a bit about the writing process, first of all. How was it writing the story? Because some people really struggle with writing. Was it something that really just kind of flew out of your hand?
Well, yes. The first time I wrote it, it was on a piece of paper, a book that I had. I did all the illustrations as well, and I showed it to my Tan, and we just worked with it. We did the spellings, we typed it out, and yeah, then we had the script. But writing it in my book took about maybe 2 weeks.
Writing the whole thing and drawing the whole thing? Wow. And so you not only write, but you draw as well?
Yeah.
So I remember your mum was saying something about the fact that you drew before you actually did the writing. Was that true? Or did you kind of write, draw? How was it? How did you do it?
Well, I drew, but then whatever came in my mind from what the drawings was about, I just wrote it down.
Wow, that's a really good way of actually doing it, isn't it? So when you come back onto our storytelling workshops, you can maybe give that tip to some of our young authors, can't you?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, for those of you who don't know about the storytelling workshops, Isis did a storytelling workshop with me, and during those storytelling workshops, we invite some of our, I don't want to say older, there because they're pretty much the same age. So some of our other young authors on that platform where you can ask them questions and find out about their process. Was it Tiana you met and maybe Joanna? Do you remember who it was who was on your storytelling workshop?
Joanna.
It was Joanna. So when you were in that position of Isis, you know, not yet published, but wants to publish, meeting another young author, how did that feel, first of all?
Well, it felt like I because I didn't really know before I started writing my book that so many young children my age or younger have wrote a book. So that really inspired me a lot.
Amazing. And now I guess the question is, how does it feel now to be in Joanna's shoes? You're the one now speaking to the other authors or the other aspiring authors and making, encouraging them to write their book. How does that feel?
Well, I almost feel like a teacher. I feel like I'm giving other people knowledge, and I just feel really lucky and hope people will, live in the power of their name.
Oh, I love that. What a brilliant segue into the goddess Isis. So from what I've learned from you and what I know about the goddess Isis, she's the, correct me if I'm wrong, she is the queen of knowledge, fertility, magic, healing. Is that correct? What else can you tell us about goddess Isis?
Well, goddess Isis, people used to, like you said, they would call out for her to heal people who need them. And yeah.
And you have a goddess Isis costume, don't you? I love that costume. So those of you who don't know, Isis came to a school in Peckham. We had year sixes come into the library, and Isis gave a talk about the goddess Isis and her costume, read to them. It was like you were famous, wasn't
it? Yeah. Everything.
Hi, Faye. So it's quite funny because the fire alarm actually went off, which just never happened at that time. At the end of the day, we were just about to wrap up, but it was great for the kids because they all got to meet you outside, didn't they? Got your autograph and took photos. So it was brilliant. What does it feel like to be semi-famous now?
I mean, I feel like it feels really good, and I feel like it's one step to being what I want to be. I want to be a singer, an actress, stuff like that.
Wow, that's amazing. You're definitely on your way. So we've got Faye here. She's also going to be, I've got an idea. She is soon to be an author. So she's worked with us for a while, starting off as a volunteer, and now she's part of our team. She says, congratulations, Isis. So her book is going to be out in August. And I know that she's a little bit nervous. So what would you say to someone like Faye who is about to publish a book but maybe might feel a little bit nervous or scared about it?
I feel like people have never seen your book before, and when you finally, or when you are writing it, I would say just be proud in yourself when you're writing it. And what I always say is write until the pen breaks.
I love that. Say that one more time.
Write until the pen breaks.
I absolutely love that quote. You need to copyright that. That's Isis Damli. I remember you said that in the BBC interview. I was so impressed. I'd never heard that before. I think that's a great quote. Faye says, "Oh, thank you, sweetie. That's helped." So I guess while we've got you here, we can tap into your goddess Isis oracle knowledge of wisdom. What would you say to young people, or anyone actually, who's got a really good idea, and maybe they've written a book and they are wondering, is it any good? Maybe nobody wants to read it, and maybe they're thinking, oh, I'm not going to bother now. What would you say?
I feel like that should be absolutely the farthest thing from your mind, not even a dot in the distance.
Ooh, I love that. If you're watching this now or on the replay, please take notes because you are giving some really great pieces of knowledge there. That's brilliant. It should not even be a dot in the distance. That's fantastic. Do you have any other books in the pipeline? I feel like you do.
Yes, I've written I've written almost half, and the blurb. It's It's called The Rose from the Concrete, and it's about a schoolgirl. Is seen as the rose, and she there's not a lot of good stuff in her school. Not a lot of people are nice to her, but it's the rose who grew from the concrete, so she finds self-love and doesn't really care about the bullies anymore.
Wow, that is beautiful. The rose in the concrete. I love that contrast of the kind of hard, cold concrete, but then even through that, you've got the beautiful rose growing through, which is that is symbolism for her.
Yeah.
Self-love. You are just a fountain of knowledge. Where do you get all this knowledge? Where do you get all this knowledge, Isis?
I get it from my reading and usually from my school, but I also get it from just my mind, really.
Mind. Oh, it's fantastic. So we've got Jay Benlow says, congratulations, young lady. All the best for your future.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. Faye says, wonderful advice. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, everyone.
But have you encouraged anyone from your school or any of your friends to write a book or maybe look into the power of their name?
Yes, actually, yes. Well, with Tiana, she's one of my friends. She wrote a song, actually. She wrote a song in her book.
About her name?
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's really interesting because you're encouraging so many people to look up the meaning of their names without you even knowing. So when you first published this book, was it, I'm trying to remember when it was. I'm not good with months or dates. Was it in February last year? This year? It was this year, wasn't it? About February.
Yes, I think it was this year in February. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I'll look it up. But anyway, when it was coming out, I was teaching some year 10, so they're 14 to 15. And I was just chatting with them and I told them about your book and that you knew the meaning of your name. And I told them about the goddess Isis. And then suddenly, imagine a class of 30 children, all of them went and researched what their name, or they asked me to research on the computer. They researched what their name was, and they even stayed behind at the end of the lesson to find out what their name meant.
Wow. Yes, that's what I want from all the other people who read my book, to find out what their name means and something special about them.
I love that. Absolutely love that. So if you're watching, please do, or if you know the meaning of your name, I think it would be great in the comments right now if you could let us know what the meaning of your name is, even if you look it up quickly on Google or whatever. Let us know what the meaning of your name is, whether you're watching live or on the replay. I'm really fascinated to know. I know that my name comes from the Daniel, which means God is judge. I really like that meaning as well. Sharon says, such great quotes from Isis. She is true to her name. Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Faye says, you know mine, Danny. I think Faye means fairy, doesn't it? So I know Faye looked up her name as well. You've got lots of people looking up their name. So I'm going to speak to Tan for a little bit. How do you feel? Obviously, you've written 3 books yourself, and Isis has now written a book and is writing more books. How do you feel? How does that make you feel to see what she's achieved?
Well, 1 year ago, we had no idea. Actually, you wrote the book when you were 7, so you're 9 now. So 2 years ago, we had no idea that Isis was going to be an author. So I suppose the first thing to say is every single child has the potential to do something great. And we just have to nurture them and inspire them. Isis is a girl like any other girl. She is special, don't get me wrong, but she's like any other little girl or boy with that potential to have a message that they want to give. So really, I'm so proud if Isis has inspired every single child that's inspired by Isis is a blessing for us. So that's fantastic, wonderful, and I'm really looking forward to what comes next. I have heard about the new book and I just think, wow, why didn't I think of that? It's just a great idea, that idea of loving yourself. If you don't love yourself first, it's hard to love anybody else or have other people to love you. So that is where it starts. I think it's a brilliant idea. And that came from Isis. It's wonderful. I think you asked about me. So I don't know, 5-6 years ago, I had no thoughts of being an author myself. I always liked writing at school more than playing with dolls or tea sets or anything like that. I just loved writing stories, but never had aspirations to be an author. And then I went to an event, a writing event, and somebody was reading their story, and there was something inside me that said, I'd like to have a go at that. I think I could do it. So I did. And 5-6 years later, 3 books published with Danny and Conscious Dreams Publishing, all about a little black girl called Nzinga, who reminds me of Isis, actually, because she's very confident, articulate, funny, sociable, just really lovely qualities that you don't always see in black characters in children's literature. I remember one of my favorite stories growing up was the Island of Adventure series written by Enid Blyton. I mean, I read those books until the pages were falling apart in my hands. And there was only one black character in the book, and he was black and big and a bit slow and simple, not a character that you could look up to and be inspired by. So when I started writing, I wanted a lead black character that children could look up to, particularly black children, and think, yeah, she's great, I'd love to be like her. Lots of diversity in the book. So there's mixed heritage, there's white, there's Asian, there's a Chinese girl in the books, but the lead character is Nzinga, who is black and proud. Trini and proud, actually.
Trini! I knew that was coming in. Trini. So I read for Trini.
Yeah. Gotta get it in there.
Gotta get it in there somehow. And also to match the wings as well. So I think very carefully about what I wear.
Yes.
But I mean, I think what you said is really important, because, you know, also same as me, that back in my day, Isis, we didn't see many black characters. So this is just so refreshing to see a new wave, and especially a new wave of young authors like yourself who are writing books, you know, celebrating culture, but also having children who look like you on the front of covers. You know, look at these beautiful dreadlocks. We did not see that growing up. And I think now it's more and more, it's normal for you. I would have loved to have done a storytelling session and spoken to 4 girls just like yourself who've written books. I would never have believed it. I thought you would have to be, you know, 40 or 50 or, you know, at home writing with a feather, a quill or ink. So this would have been you would have been such a role model for me. So I want to say thank you, Isis. How do you feel? Your Tan is also an author of 3 books too.
Well, I would say I feel like I'm almost, I mean, I'm a part of the family, but a part of the book family also. And I can get different ideas from my Tan, from different ideas from books. And every time another book comes out, she would always read it to me and ask if anything I could add to it. And I just feel like I just like being able to see and read all the different ideas we have.
That's so special. I'm gonna cry. Isn't that lovely? I always said your Tan had a really lovely reading voice. I'd love to have Tan to have read me stories when I was going to bed. Do you ever imagine yourself doing a project together, maybe?
We both said, oh, that would be so. We don't say sick anymore, do we? That would be so.
No, that's old now.
That's old. Showing my age. That would be so good, Isis.
That would be amazing. Oh, I can't wait to see what you two are going to create. I can see lots more there for you. Very exciting. So we've got some comments here. Afra says, what a power-filled subject and beautifully articulate young lady. Names are so very important. Well done, you. I know there's so much more to come from you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that lovely comment, Afra. That's lovely. She also says, all 4 of my sons have been deliberately named after great African ancestors.
Power of the names.
Hey. Faye says, I should have said that my Arabic name is it Taliba, which means seeker of knowledge. My Egyptian name is Pamiank Kafu. I'm sorry if I've said that incorrectly. This means the eternal protector of the cats. I love that. A school of thought-related protection of women and children. Wow. So everyone's telling us the power of their names now. Keep up the great work, Isis. So shout out to Nia Davis. Nia Davis did some animated videos of your book, hasn't she?
Yes, yeah.
I've seen them. They look amazing. Do you like them?
Yeah, I really do like them.
So lovely, like seeing everything, all your work, hard work come to life. So I guess the last few questions are just talking about the process, because obviously people see the book and they're like, oh, the illustrations are so lovely, but they have no idea about how all of that came about. So tell us a bit about working with Bryony. How did you decide on what was going to go in there?
Well, first of all, me and Tantan looked up what the goddess Isis looked like, and when I saw that she was light skinned, I thought, it still does look pretty, but necessarily from the things I know about the Egyptians, I would think that they would be light skinned. So I thought I wanted it to be just mainly a black cast. So working with Bryony was really exciting, because I got to say my ideas of what I wanted her to look like. Big, colourful parrot, red and bright wings.
Keep talking. I'm gonna try and show and tell as you speak.
And the front cover, I loved how it was the Egyptian world on one side and our world on the other side.
There you go. So you've got the Tower of London. Oh my gosh, sorry. The London Eye, the wheel here. You've got Big Ben, and then you've got the contrast of the magical Egyptian pyramids and the Sphinx down there as well.
Yeah.
Isis, you are honestly such a treasure to talk to. I could talk to you all day, but unfortunately our time has run out. Can you leave us with any parting words that you think might help people today?
Okay, I'm gonna leave it with 2.
Okay.
It would be right until the pen breaks, and negativity should be a dot in the distance.
Say no more. You don't need to say any more. That is a mic drop moment. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think you are an amazing, eloquent, intelligent, articulate, beautiful, talented, inspirational young lady. So I just want to say, and a great communicator, brilliant communicator. That's so important. Really, really proud of you. I've only met you a few times, but you have a special place in my heart.
Thank you.
Okay. And if you are watching, get the book. Come on. I'm going to put the link, is in the post. I'm going to, if you're not following me on social media, it's all over my social media. I will pop the link in the comments as well. You can get it from the Conscious Dreams bookshop or any other good retailer from all over the world. Everybody have an absolutely beautiful day. We are not here next week because I'm on holiday. I wish I could say I'm going to Egypt. That's on my bucket list. I'm not going to Egypt, but I will be away next week. But the following week, on the 3rd of August, hold on. No. I've got Faye. Hold on. What date are we on? 27th of July. I'm going to be interviewing the awesome and amazing Faye, who I think has been watching your interview for interview tips or when she does hers. She says, a wonderful Isis, continue to be an amazing child. I'm going to be speaking with her about her book, I Got You, which is all about healthy relationships and good communication and, Isis, self-love.
Yes.
Hey. So we'll see you on the 27th of July, Thursday, 7 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. EST. I have been Daniela Bleckner, speaking with the awesome and amazing
Isis and Tantan.
Yes. See you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.